If you love cooking but just don't have a ton of time, I have some very easy and very delicious recipes for you today. I'm making 3 fall meals that are just gonna knock your socks off. We're gonna start off by making some super very easy apple pork chops. We've just got a tablespoon of oil on a skillet over medium-high heat. I'm halving the recipe tonight because I just have 3 pork chops that I got at my local butcher because I had a gift card, and then when I got the gift card, if you spend $50, you get to spin the wheel, and then when I spun the wheel, I got a free pound of pork chops, which is awesome. So we're just gonna use these tonight, and I'm actually gonna give the kids leftovers because they don't really like pork chops anyway. But I figured I'd choose a really quick and simple recipe. So once the oil is hot, you wanna place the pork chops on the pan. I'm gonna cook those for like 3 to 5 minutes on each side and just sear them. Then you want to remove the pork chops from the pan. I'm just going to add in a 1/4 cup of chicken broth or bone broth, or you could use some bouillon, 1 apple sliced, and 1.5 tablespoons of brown sugar. You also want to add in just a sprinkle of dried thyme, dried oregano, and a little bit of cinnamon. And you could also use fresh herbs for this if that's what you have on hand. And just give that a stir. And then you want to cook that for like 3 to 5 minutes until it's kind of cooked down and all the brown bits are off the bottom of the pan. Then we can add the pork chops back to the pan and just cook until they're fully cooked through. So we'll see how long mine take. So I actually ended up adding a little bit of broth to mine because my sauce ended up getting a little thick. And then pork is tricky, so you want to get to 144 degrees. So I've just been testing with a thermometer here to see when it's done. And so at 140, I took mine off because I knew it was going to continue to cook a little bit more after you take it off. That's kind of like the resting of the pork. And you can see that I have it off the heat, but the thermometer is still going up. So it does continue to cook after you take it off the heat. And we're gonna be just about a 144, and we're gonna be able to enjoy a delicious meal. In total, my pork chops are probably back in the pan for about 10 minutes, and that's your choice whether you wanna add more liquid or not. And then I just served it on a small plate because we were just gonna have these pork chops, put a little bit of the sauce over the top. You can actually just kind of pour it on top with some of those apples. And I ended up serving mine with some leftover sweet potato mashed potatoes I had. And it was such a delicious fall treat. And I mean, it's really for any time of year, but pork chops are great because they're really inexpensive. And this meal feels like it's from like a 5-star restaurant, which probably makes sense because they're always trying to find like, cheaper ways to make something that tastes really good. And this is one of those. But it's like a weeknight meal. Like it took less than 30 minutes and it was all in one pan. Absolutely incredible. All right, before we get to the next recipe, I want to take a minute to talk to you about the sponsor of today's video, Good Chop. Good Chop offers fully customizable boxes of high-quality meat and seafood delivered to your door on your schedule. Now, I've worked with Good Chop for over a year now, and all I can say is it keeps getting better and better, and the selection keeps getting bigger and bigger. Good Chop offers 70 high-quality cuts of meat and seafood, and even sides and dessert now, too. One reason I love Good Chop is because they literally have the best steak. This time I decided to really treat ourselves, and we got the ribeye as well as the New York strip steak. It's really hard for me to decide between these 2 cuts of meat which one is our favorite, but I absolutely love both. And this is cheaper than one stop at the butcher, and I'm getting all of this meat. So for me, it's like, it's a real deal. And I can have like a special date night with my husband. I've used this for Valentine's Day before. It's just amazing. I'm so looking forward to these. Let's see what else we got here. They have amazing bacon. The bacon is so, so good. And I just love to cook with it. Really fabulous chicken breasts. The thing I love about these chicken breasts is they are real skinless chicken breasts, and they don't have like chunky pieces of fat on them. I feel like sometimes I go to the grocery store and I get chicken breasts and you have to cut off like half the chicken breast. This is good solid chicken right here. You can even see in the package that doesn't have that. Now, Good Chop is always sourced from American farms and fisheries, which I absolutely love. I love supporting local farmers and fishermen. In this case, I didn't get any fish, but they do have delicious, delicious fish. I got some ground beef, 2 pounds here. And then for me, like I love football. It's football season. That means chicken wings. These chicken wings are absolutely amazing. And I actually probably gonna make them this weekend because I'm that excited about them. Aside from how amazing the meat is, I just love ordering Good Chop because I know that I'm going to have good quality meats in my freezer at all times. So even if I can't make it to the grocery store or I'm just trying to cut back on costs that week, I know I have something delicious that I can cook. You, of course, are going to get a deal if you start with Good Chop today. Go to goodchop.com/YouTube and use my code Maria130 or click the link in the caption below to get $130 off across your first 4 boxes. And sticking with our theme, we're going to be using some Good Chop ground beef to make a very easy Mexican casserole. I've got my Good Chop ground beef here. So Good Chop makes things easier because it was delivered right to my door, and then I can just make this casserole out of things that I already had on hand. So super simple. This is a really great one too to make double of and maybe freeze, or if you have a larger family, you can just make 2 times the recipe and a couple of casserole dishes. You're gonna be in good shape. Forgive my kind of messy counter here. I made bacon this morning and I should have cleaned it up and I didn't, so it happens. So to your beef, you just wanna add 2 tablespoons of taco seasoning, which is not quite a whole packet, so that's good. You can save that for something else. 1 can of chili beans. I really only need half of this can of crushed tomatoes, so I'll save the other half for something else. Maybe some pizza sauce or something. And then 1 can of Rotel or any diced tomatoes with green chilies. I've even in the past done like fire roasted tomatoes with a can of green chilies, so whatever you have on hand. Oh, and you can drain that meat off too. This was just very lean, so I really didn't need to. That delicious Good Chop beef. So this is well mixed. Just gonna spray the bottom of my 9x13. And then you can use corn tortillas. I happen to have these cassava flour tortillas. Should be fine. We're just gonna layer them. I'm actually just gonna break these in half. So we have like this and like this, which is perfect. And then we're just gonna pour half of the mixture, oops, try not to spill it, into the 9x13. And then when you want to use 2 cups of cheese and put 1 cup over this layer. I'm gonna keep a little bit off because my oldest does not like cheese, so we'll only be covering this area here. And then we're gonna do the same thing with the tortillas. Go on top here, break them in half, ta-da, and then layer it once more. And then we'll just bake this at 350 degrees for 20 minutes. So as you can see here, it turned out amazing. It was like this lasagna enchilada vibe. The kids loved it, and it was just super easy to kind of set and forget, and just like really low ingredient, you know, great for the pantry.
5 out of 5. I don't like it. I love it. Yeah. 3 out of 5.
Okay.
I give it a 10 out of 0.
I don't even know what that means. All right, for this one, it could not be simpler. We are making some Crockpot sausage with sauce and pasta. So I'm just dumping my sausage here. I've got a can of sauce. And that's it. Like, I'm turning on the Crockpot. I have not that much time, so I'm doing high, but you can do low for like 6 to 8 hours. Amazing. And then you can do high for like 4, and that's what I'm doing. So, and I'm not gonna be home tonight, so this is gonna be perfect because my husband can just make up some pasta, serve it with the sausage, and dinner is done. So it's actually only been 3 hours and on high, and this is perfectly cooked. So I'm just gonna cook up some pasta and serve that for the kids. And then you can literally just take a, you know, spotted spoon like this and break up the sausage so that it's kind of more even for the pasta. And I'm just gonna pour an entire package. I've got the Bonza chickpea pasta, which is nice. It's like a high protein pasta, gluten-free. I use the Primal Kitchen sauce here. Like, you can make this very, very healthy, or you can make it however you want. So it, like, you know, it almost looks like meatballs, but it's sausage. Don't forget to get your deal on good quality American meat. Go to goodchop.com/YouTube and use code Maria130 or click the link in the caption below to get $130 off across your first 4 boxes.